Now, you alluded and shared with us, John, kind of some history of Psion, and I imagine with the recent kind of upheaval and economic challenges and changes in mobility, and with the advent of the smartphones and tablets, there's a lot of shakeup there. And I understand that you've personally been involved in a lot of business transformation effort there at Psion. Would you like to just share with us some of the things you're doing to keep Psion on top of the game?
Well, that's a very large question, Kevin. I've just slumped back in my seat while I think about how to answer it. So, if I go back 3 years, Psion was engaged in an attritional feeds and speeds and feature war with its competitors. It strategically lost its way and was operationally starting to sort of struggle. So the idea was to take a look at whether we could start to compete on a different basis. Given all the types of things you've said about different technologies, how could Psion start to compete on a different basis so that the sales argument wasn't always about, well, for 3 months or 6 months, my product's got 3 more megapixels in the camera than yours. That's kind of that goes nowhere. That'll be the odd good year, the odd bad year, but fundamentally, no value will transform. So we set about changing the company, and the strategy was, number one, fix everything, which I think I've finally done 3 years in, and number two, compete on a different basis. And we have begun on that, but the work to do it has been going on for a couple of years. But it's like we've embarked on building a 5-story building. We didn't realize we'd need to build a 5-story underground car park. And only now have we probably built the first floor above ground of competing on that different basis.
John, what does that look like?
We've tried to change the business model to one that changes the development process, engages with this idea of many, many different niches out in the market to provide easier customization, and thirdly, starts to embrace open innovation. So the overall change to the model we call open source mobility, but it's about mobility. This isn't hardware or software, and it's inspired by the idea of the open source environment, where we've tried to turn the walls of this business inside out. Now, I'm probably less than halfway through that journey, but the 3 components are a modular design philosophy, which reduces our time to market from 1/3 to 1/2, and we're just now getting the initial benefit from that. Secondly, the ability to more easily customize devices, whether it's us or whether it's a third party. So very unusually, for example, with our devices, they are capable, or newer devices, of field upgrade or the ability to prolong the life cycle through reducing obsolescence. Thirdly,
let me pause here just for a moment, John, for our listeners, and draw an example. My iPhone, when you buy it, what you see is what you get, and you're not going to take it apart and upgrade the camera or upgrade the screen or anything else, because it's just all locked into one package. But if I understand you right, John, what you're talking about is avoiding obsolescence and being able to upgrade is the ability to actually take apart your devices and upgrade components and put them right back to work without having to replace the entire device. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now, not all our devices will have all those capabilities, but I will give you one example of an airport that purchased 50 of our new generation of device. The scanning, the testing, they happened to do on overcast days, but within 2 months they found they were trying to scan in bright sunlight, and they'd specified, and maybe we could have done better in the sales process, a scanner that wasn't powerful enough for bright sunlight. Now, ordinarily, that's a tough discussion between the vendor and the customer as to, well, how can we get each other out of that situation? What we were able to do was, without interrupting the process, one by one, their operatives came in off the tarmac. It took about 20 minutes per device, and we upgraded. We swapped out the old scanner for a new one, fired it up again, and the guy walked out of the building and back onto the tarmac with a working device and a more powerful scanner. So, look, not everyone is going to want that capability, but there is a significant number of applications or situations where that's valuable. Now, with a traditional monolithic design or the smartphone you referenced, who's going to pay for that failed investment? This was a very happy bit of customer-vendor cooperation and relationship, and really built a lot of trust. So that's a good example. I can give you another one where third parties build different types of scanner or data capture device, like a biometric reader, and they're able to attach it to our device to create more capability. So you're the guy with this great idea for a biometric reader. You realize you're going to have to build a whole handheld unit to make it usable, but you don't have to. What you can do is engage with us, and as long as your plastics fit our defined specification, it'll work on our device. So we get the application tugging through the device into a niche, but we've not had to spend any extra R&D money. So that's customization and upgradability and flexibility.
Well, John, thank you for elaborating on that, because a lot of our audience has not been down the same path perhaps you and I have and thought through these issues. So sharing these case examples are very powerful. So I'll let you get back to your open source mobility discussion.
Okay, so what I said was it's a change to our business model. It's about modularity, which enables us to, secondly, more easily customize. But thirdly, it's about open innovation, most evidenced at the moment by our open collaborative community, Ingenuity Working, but whereby if we've got this ability for other people to create designs, then we need to enable that open innovation process through the community to bring more and more R&D ideas into our business. And we see, although we feel we're kind of not many steps up the staircase, we see this as being potentially making it competitively unpredictable, and we see it as introducing us to markets we would perhaps never have encountered or seen. So those three things, no one's going to buy from us because of open source mobility. That sinks into the infrastructure. It's just how we are now doing business.
Right.
But it generates benefits. Better total cost of ownership for customers, for our partners, the ability to innovate their business model, perhaps by developing their own hardware applications, but additionally for our own staff, because it's turned the company inside out, and we're much more receptive to external ideas. So we ran a beta test recently of a couple of hundred units. We opened up a common site on our Ingenuity Working page, and everyone testing a device was free to put in their feedback real time, so that if someone said, hey, I don't like that, 20 other people would pile in and say, no, I don't like that either. Now, normally, you kind of do a beta testing phase, and at the end, you collate the results, and you've lost a couple of months, and maybe it's too late to make any changes.
Right.
Real time, day by day, we were engaging with all these people, picking up the chance to make little changes just in the last 3 months before release. And our partners and customers who were part of this process have never seen such an open process. But our result was a better product. So that was, I don't know that anyone's ever done, I'm not aware of anyone ever doing that before. And of course, if it had gone badly, we'd have had a community of a couple hundred people who'd seen exactly how badly the product was likely to do. So it is a calculated risk.
You've shared 3 very interesting points here about your business transformation, this open source mobility, how it plays into that transformation, and Ingenuity Working, how you're using, in effect, collaboration technology and social networking to get real-time feedback from your end users. And I think all three of those together are very interesting examples on how to stay on top of or get on top and stay on top of a very fast-moving technology marketplace. With that, John, any last words before I let you go?
Well, I was just going to say to you, you've exactly hit the nail on the head. A lot of my managers and engineers and me myself are now becoming some of the best connected people in the marketplace because Ingenuity Working is my homepage. People blog, tweet, wiki and whatever in there. They share information. My partners in Poland or Germany are in there answering technical questions and problems. They're starting to create their own relationships between countries, and we don't have to do anything. So although we feel on the one hand very advanced, on the other hand we feel like we've only taken baby steps with what is possible. And the trick now is the company now needs to grow and show that all this will monetize. And where I am, I think I have to work from here on in for this company not to grow. I would have to actually find a way of reining it in. So the monetization is the next step.
Well, wonderful. John, thank you for sharing your insights with us today, and I appreciate it and enjoy the rest of your week.